Hey friends, today I'm going to be revisiting Luca. First, I gotta start with the art style of this movie. It looks so good and cartoony. It's a lot different from the typical Pixar art style, but I love it regardless. I especially love when Luca and Alberto have side profiles, just like a 2D animated character would. And should I mention the funny expressions in this movie? This movie's premise is really simple. When sea monsters are wet, they still say sea monsters, but when they're dry, they turn into a human form. Perfect. I'm just glad that this movie doesn't establish really complex rules to its world. Cough cough, Marvel Studio movies. The characters in this movie are really charming. I think my favorite is Alberto, just because of how funny he can really be. In fact, this movie is really funny. Luca's uncle is voiced by King Julian, and he's pretty funny, even though he's not really on screen for too long. Julia's dad's Kita is pretty funny.
Hey, no goofing around back there.
Luca's parents can occasionally be pretty funny too, especially when they throw a kid into the water just because they think he's Luca. With its simple story and pretty good jokes, I feel like this would be made more by Studio Ghibli rather than Pixar, but that's not a bad thing. I love Studio Ghibli movies. This entire film is a pretty good change of pace from what Pixar has been typically doing, especially when we had just gotten Soul right before this, the most mature Pixar movie to date. Strangely, I prefer this movie over Soul. I think I just like the more lighthearted feel and the less complex story. Luca is still a very good movie, even after 2 years as of this video. It's a very lighthearted and silly movie, but that's what I really love about it. Just like Studio Ghibli movies, this is a pretty good movie that is just a nice little slice of life, and it gives us a little tiny bit of a break from Pixar's more complex projects. Luca is great, legitimately great. I would love to see more slice of life movies from Pixar like this movie and Turning Red. I'd highly recommend Luca, especially to those who are big fans of Studio Ghibli. Also Kete.
Do you know
The Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man.
Yes, I know the Muffin Man. Who lives on Drury Lane?
Well, she's married to the Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man!